So today we're going to be discussing Kodak Black's new album, Back for Everything. So I feel on this album, Kodak Black kind of tried to bring back an old Kodak style that we haven't seen in a while, and I think he hit the mark on that aspect. But when it comes down to the beats and everything he talked about in his albums, I think he missed the mark in this album alone. When we look at albums such as maybe Project Baby 2 or Institution or something like that, I feel like we see a lot more of that thuggish love type vibe that we see from Kodak.
What?
But in this album alone, I feel like we just don't get that. I feel like we're getting more kind of a newer style Kodak, which some people might like that style, but I feel like I've seen a lot of people that think that we need that older Kodak style where he's hungry to make it to the top, but at the same time we can understand he has feelings too. I feel like in this album he's almost trying to hide those feelings in a way, if that makes any sense, but at the same time I think he almost missed the mark. Now there's a few songs that are on this album that I think are actually pretty good, such as Hitting Houses and Vulnerable. Those two songs in themselves are pretty good, and I think what he talks about in these songs as well kind of hits the mark for a little bit of a Kodak, an old Kodak that we like to see, but when it comes down to a new Kodak style, I think we can kind of hear a little bit in it, but mostly in all the other songs. That's why I'm not big on those other songs. So if we look at older songs, maybe such as Transgression or Pride or Institution, Like That by Kodak, when we listen to these songs by him, we can almost hear that thuggish love style, if that makes any sense. But I feel like in this album alone, like I was saying earlier, I feel like he just doesn't have that thuggish love that we like. You know, that's that old Kodak style where he's really kind of talking to everybody instead of more of these people on the streets doing this and that. I feel like he kind of lost his pizzazz, if that makes any sense. Overall, I would have to rate this album more along the lines of maybe a 6 or 7 for Kodak albums. Now this thuggish love style that I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier is something like in the song Don't Wanna Breathe, with the lyrics of, or the beaten style that he presented to us in Day for Day. So what's different about Kodak Black in general, not only just because of his voice, but he has a street persona, but also would give us the vibe that he had feelings too. Because Kodak Black does have feelings, and I feel like that's where we have a big gap in the music world and the music industry and stuff like that, is too many people want to try to be hard and don't want to express that they too have feelings. So when we look at Kodak Black's old style with this thuggish love style, you can kind of see in there where he starts talking about how, you know, he feels a certain type of way about something, or we can just feel it in the beats in general that Kodak Black decides to use and rap over. So this type of style is really big in the hip hop industry. If we can look at someone like Drake, or we can look at someone like J. Cole or something like that, when these songs are actually able to reach multiple different audiences besides just street people, and besides just people who are never in the streets and just have feelings in general and like these songs. I feel like there's a big gap that we see in the music industry, and I feel like Kodak Black actually used to bridge the gap back in the day, and I feel like that's what brought him up the most. And so when I say on this new album, I don't feel as much as that thuggish love style that Kodak Black used to have. You know, we can kind of feel it in the songs and the beats that he decides to use, because we just don't feel like he has feelings. It almost feels like he's too famous to have these type of feelings again. On those older albums, like maybe Painting Pictures, we see a lot of these songs with that thuggish love style, or Project Baby 2, where you can tell that Kodak Black has feelings as well, not only just a street person. Now, obviously, a lot of people do like him for his street personality, and they want to hear more of these street songs and stuff like that, but I feel like there's a gap that Kodak Black, again, used to be able to bridge, and I feel like he needs to represent that a little bit again, and that's why I feel like he missed his mark on this new album. I feel like that style is becoming very popular. If we look at some of the largest artists in the world, again, like Drake, J. Cole, you know, even if we go back a little bit more and we've got Jay-Z and stuff like that, if we listen to these songs and the words that they speak, they're able to just go to multiple people, right? You know, you can have people on the streets who feel exactly what they're saying, but we can have people who have never been on the streets but have feelings, and that song just reaches them really well. A good example of this is J. Cole when he talks about Love Yours. On Love Yours, when J. Cole starts speaking about how the money doesn't make you happy, it's what you got and what you can appreciate. This is something that is really important, and I feel like a lot of people listen to that song, they're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Now, that didn't touch a street audience, and that makes perfect sense because a lot of these street audiences, they may not have as much, and they've never had both sides of it. But what you can understand what I'm saying is the message that J. Cole was putting out in that song was that overall, the money's not gonna make you happy, right? So it's just like touching everybody's feelings, and I feel like that's one of the reasons the song got big or something like that. But a lot of people, they really do like that style, and I feel like a lot of these street people want to stay away from it because it makes them look soft or whatever the case may be. But they've got to understand that everybody has feelings too, and if you want to be as big as you want to be, maybe on a Drake level, maybe on a Jay-Z level, you know, maybe on a Lil Baby level, you know, you've got to understand that people have feelings too, and you need to touch both audiences. You need to bring it back together, right? We need to bridge this gap when it comes down to it. So again, like I said, I feel Kodak Black missed his mark on this album. We need our old Kodak Black with that thuggish love style that everybody messed with Kodak to begin with, honestly. And I feel like he needs to bring it back. And until then, honestly, I'm gonna have to give this again a score, probably about a 6 or 7, just because I'm not feeling the album as much. Honestly, I didn't even hear much news about it. The only way I knew about it was because Spotify brought it up for me, and they said check it out, and I was like, oh, Kodak Black actually dropped an album. But again, if we hear something like Lil Baby, we're gonna know when Lil Baby dropped an album, because we know Lil Baby's gonna have that thuggish love style to him, where he's sitting there talking about all the money, talking about all the jewelry, talking about all this. But he's also going to go back to, hey, I've got feelings too, listen to me, I go through pain too. So everybody else can understand it as well. And I feel like that's why Lil Baby's been able to get the success he's been able to get to, opposed to with an album like Kodak just dropped. If people come in with an album like Kodak dropped, where they're not giving us that thuggish love style, I feel like they're never going to hit their mark. So we've got to make sure that you know, any new upcoming artists, you got to learn from this stuff. This is really huge. Any upcoming artists, you've got to understand, you've got to reach the mass majority, not just a single tiny group. That's what a lot of people miss out on, and that's why a lot of people don't make it as big as they need to be. They feel they need to be different, they feel they need to be this and that. But let's look at all the greats. If you follow the greats in their footsteps and the path that they take, you can see why they made it to the top. We can see Drake was able to make it to the top because he's got these hot songs, but at the same time he's got feelings that go into it, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to what he says in his songs, right? We can see these people in the streets even quoting Drake songs, which is crazy. So a little bit off topic at times, but back to the basics of what we're talking about. Kodak missed his mark, no matter what. Argue with me all you want. I feel Kodak Black needs to bring back his thuggish love style, and until we get that, his albums will remain not great. So that's all I've got for the video today. If you guys think I was right about the album, or maybe you think I was wrong about the album, let me know down below in the comments. I want to know what you guys think about his album. If you liked the video and you want to see more, please leave this video a like and subscribe to the channel so you can keep updated on all things hip hop news. But besides that, stay hungry, stay motivated, and always keep a mean flow.